Basically, here's what I want to do. Okay, ready for my vision? Are you sitting down? Sip your tea or coffee. Oh, great. Lovely. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Caffeinated Classroom. I am Marie, and I am super excited, you guys, because I had the best idea the other day. Like literally yesterday morning, I had this amazing idea, and I put it out onto Instagram, and to Facebook, and I've had quite a bit of interest, and so I'm super excited, and I'm hoping you guys will join me. I'm starting a book club. That's right. I'm going to start the 8 millionth book club that you have seen getting started before summer gets going. But my book club is going to be a little bit different, and let me tell you how. Okay, we're going to do the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the Caffeinated Classroom Summer Book Reports. I love me a good book report. Okay, here it comes. So, who is it for? This is for educators of all sorts. This is for anybody who is just a reading enthusiast who believes, like I do, like many of us do, that reading and opening yourself up to other worlds is like just one of the best ways to just feed your soul, and it's one of the best vehicles for education. What is it? It's basically like an abbreviated book club. So what we're going to do is each month we'll have a different theme. So for instance, this first month that we're ever going to do, June 2018, is going to be the theme of empathy. And so what we'll look for is different texts that we could use with students that teach or that exhibit empathy. I teach high school, right? And so I would find a book that I could share with my high school students, and I might even differentiate between like levels of reading. The book that I chose, which I'll show you in just a couple of minutes, is for a much higher level, but then I also have another choice for much lower Lexile, like reading level. So bear with me. And then what we will do is we will give like a quick little book report in different ways that we think it could be used in the classroom, what it's about, who it would be appropriate for, and maybe even like an example of an activity or a lesson that could be drawn from this book. But I don't even necessarily mean only books. Just because I say book report doesn't mean that a text can't be a short story or an article. Like it could be fiction or nonfiction. It could be a poem. It could be a collection of poems. It could be a song. There are a lot of different texts that we could use for this purpose to teach these different themes. I feel like take text, take book, however you want to take it. If you think it can be used in a classroom with kiddos to help enhance their education, then oh my gosh, let's talk about it. Okay, when is this happening? I think I'm going to start it next month. Right now it is May 20 something. Let's start this in June, like the first week of June. I will put out my first like book report video. I'll probably be doing a bunch of them because I'm like nerd alert. I really like to like overdo stuff. Where is this going to happen? This is right now because I'm mostly active on YouTube and Instagram as far as social media is concerned. That's where I'm seeing this take place. So basically what I'll be doing is I will be recording for every text that I am going to do a book report on. I will record a short video for YouTube and I will upload it. And then I will also put snippets of it and put some information from it on Instagram for my followers. So I'm going to do that in both places. I completely encourage you to do both or one or the other, or expand it to Twitter, or like wherever it is that you want to take this. My whole goal here, and this brings me on to the why I'm starting this, is because I want to help other educators just like me. I want us to be able to help each other just find some awesome sources. And I'm really excited to see what everybody else comes up with, because let's use the power of the internet and social media for good, shall we? I've always known that there's good out there. It's just really hard to find sometimes. The other thing that I want to do is use this as a means of like revitalizing and breathing life into my own classroom library. You guys, it's gotten real stale around here. The other last thing that I can really see these like kind of book reports doing is supporting each other's book clubs. There are some legit awesome book clubs out there. Like one of my favorites right now, I have two that I found through Instagram. Christina Costa has her Instagram handle is Teach Like a Girl, and then she has a book club, Read Like a Teacher, and I have found a few amazing books just through her Instagram feed. And then there's another one I just found that has a brand new podcast, and it's called Teachers, Books, Wine. And find her on Instagram, and then there's a brand new podcast. Okay, so anyways, I'm talking too much. Sorry. You guys read books, support each other. Like, bring up books that you're reading for other book clubs, and then like mention them. Like, totally support each other, shout outs to other book clubs. Let's bring them all up. Let's get our students excited about reading and let them see how much we love getting into other worlds and finding out about other people through reading. Oh, the Earl of Grey. It's lovely. How is this all going to happen? Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Here's your prompt, people. First, I want you to start off with a brief synopsis. Don't give us any big spoilers, obviously, but just give us a quick brief synopsis, like who are the main players, where's this taking place, yada, yada, yada. Then tell us what age or grade you think this would be appropriate for, or like what reading level even, and I'll explain a little bit more of what I'm talking about in a second. The third thing I want you to touch on is how do you think this text teaches or exemplifies whatever the theme is that we're talking about. So for instance, our first theme is going to be for June, empathy, like I said before. So how does this teach kids empathy, or how does this show kids what empathy looks like? And then last but not least, include an example, and it doesn't have to be anything like tangible that you already have, but just an idea of what you would do in class with your students pertaining to this text. How would you analyze it, or how would you lead a class discussion, or like what sort of an activity or lesson or even unit would you build around this text to teach empathy, or like whatever the theme is. So this brings us to the very last part, which is the part I'm really excited about. Empathy is defined as, it is a noun, it is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. For those of you who have not followed me or like don't know much about my own teaching history, super fast, I will tell you that first of all, you should go and look at a couple of my older videos, like my intro video on this channel will tell you the whole story. But I have been teaching for the past 2 years in a traveling teaching position where I visit 13 schools, elementary schools in my district, and at each school I see 3 classrooms. So I see at the very least 39 classrooms 13 times each. And I'm a high school teacher by trade. I've done a lot of learning and a lot of observation, and I've seen a lot of things that tell me that our kids need to learn more about empathy. So I think that teaching empathy is invaluable in our schools, and our kids need more of it, and our colleagues need more of it, and just humans need more of it. So why not do it in creative ways? That is the why for June 2018, why we're looking at empathy. My picks for this month. The first one has not arrived yet. I am waiting, seriously, like, come on, Amazon, let's go. They're not coming yet, you guys, they're not here. The first book that I have, it's called Deafo, and here's a picture. Bing! It is written by Cece Bell, and it is actually for, the age range is for 8+. I'm really excited to take a look at it because I would use this in a high school classroom. I had a colleague tell me about this book. He is a 5th grade teacher, and he said that it's just a great book altogether. And the main character is deaf, and from the synopsis that I read on Amazon, she kind of like turns herself into a superhero that she calls Deafo because she has to go to school wearing these huge hearing aids, and it's like her coping with that. I'm super excited to take a look at that. The second pick that I'm going to look at, I'm sure I'll have more, but for empathy is going to be for much higher reading levels, like very advanced. And it's one of my favorite books of all time, Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. And it is the novel by Gregory Maguire. It is the novel that the musical Wicked was based off of. I have read this probably like 3 times, and I can't wait to start it again. Like, I'm really excited for school to get out so I can really just bust through this tome of a book. This book would be really good for higher level high schoolers. It's all about like looking at things from another way. The Wicked Witch of the West is one of the like most famous villains of Western literature, and this looks at her background story and like why people were so scared of her, and she's actually a nice person. Or she was anyways. I am so excited. I don't know if you can glean that by the way that I'm like bouncing off the walls in this video, but I'm like super excited. And if you have book or article or text ideas, please leave them in the comments below. Do me a favor, hit subscribe so that when I do my first June video, you won't miss it. And let me know that you're gonna do this because I'm so excited to meet new people, get to know some of you a little bit better who I've already connected with, and just like, let's get some cool books and movies and TV and different texts going for our students. Okay, guys, I'll see you in June. once had a college professor who started having to write really formal like prompts for papers in grad school because I was such a pain in his butt. And I was like, but if you don't give me guidelines, like legit guidelines, I can't actually complete this assignment because I am a machine. I am a machine of modern American education and I need guidelines. I'm type A. Okay, anyways.